Okay, so it looks like we have about 50 in, and it is 10:01. So if you'd like, we can go ahead and start. Just give me a little nudge whenever you'd like to go to the next slide.
Beautiful. Awesome. Thank you so much, everybody. Thank you, Ariel. Hi, everybody. Thanks so much for joining us. It is, what is today? Thursday, August 20th, 2026. Thank you so much for joining our quarterly provider meeting. Um, Again, a new year, a new contract year. So happy to be here. Thank you so much for taking in the time out today and tuning in. We have some wonderful presenters with some really great community resources for you and a couple updates from the ELC team. So we are going to get started, I think. Let's go to the next slide. A packed agenda as usual with some, like I said, some wonderful guest presentations from some of our different community organizations as well as some private entities that have some great information for you. And then we'll move into the ELC presentations. So I think if Ebony is on, we go right into her.
Yes, I'm on.
There, wonderful. Hi, Ebony. Nice to meet you.
Hi, thank you so much.
All right, we'll go right into your presentation. Thank you.
Awesome, thank you. All right, good morning, everybody. My name is Ebony Sherman, and I am the founder and CEO of Consult Sherm LLC. And so I first want to say thank you to the Early Learning Coalition for allowing me to share this opportunity. I also want to thank each and every one of these educators that get into the classroom, run your programs. You all are definitely essential to helping this next generation and build foundations for children that will carry for the rest of their lives. But when we talk about classrooms, we also know that classrooms can definitely be chaotic a lot of the time. But I want to move more so talking about from chaos to having the confidence, how we better understand challenging behaviors, equip educators to responding to them, and create emotionally healthy environments for children. And so I want to start first with the identification of the child. So if we go to the next slide. Right. And so as we're looking at this screen, we're looking at and we're seeing this kid in the background. And beneath it, we see all these other emotional moments happening with these children, right? We see tantrums, aggressions, elopements, right? And so I want to pause for a moment and ask you all to think about that child that's in your classroom. Not necessarily the easiest child, but think about that child whose behavior causes you as a teacher, as an educator to say, I have no idea what to do next. I have no idea what I'm doing, right? And so maybe it's the child that's screaming during transition. Maybe it's the child that refuses to take a nap. Maybe it's that child that does not like eating their lunch or likes eating it off the ground, right? And automatically, our natural reaction is, how do I stop this behavior from happening, right? But what if we change that question and say, what is this child actually trying to communicate? When we see what we see is behavior, but underneath it, that behavior could be an actual child that just does not know the emotional vocabulary or have the words to actually articulate what it is that they're feeling in their little bodies, right? And so when we become more curious about what's happening beneath the behavior, we have an opportunity to respond differently because what we see is the behavior, but what we need to understand is the need of the child, right? But what if we're asking educators to look beyond the behavior, um, and we're asking them to do all of these things within the classrooms, but we have to also to make sure that we have the tools to help these educators do what we're asking them to do. And so we can go to the next slide. And so now we're shifting, right? We're shifting attention from the child to the actual educator. And I'm pretty sure all of my educators that are on here, you've been this teacher that is on this slide, right? You're sitting, you're trying to figure out um, teachers and educators, you're teaching, you're managing transitions and routines, you're supporting social and emotional development, you're communicating with their families, you're carrying an entire classroom, right? And at the same time, they're responding to increasingly complex behavioral and emotional needs. So when I hear educators say, I don't know what else to do, I've tried everything, I don't hear an ineffective teacher. but rather I hear an educator who simply just needs another tool. And sometimes that tool looks like maybe another person in a classroom. Maybe they need something to help them guide to so that way they have better classroom management, right? And so I want to speak to the educators and let you know that what you're doing a great job. And maybe there is just another tool that you need inside of your classroom to help you do a better job. We cannot continue to increase the expectations placed on educators without also increasing the support that we're trying to give them. Teachers don't need more expectations, but I believe that teachers need more tools. And this is where I come in out. This is exactly where Consult with SHRM comes in. And so if you go to the next slide, I'll talk about the three programs that I have. And then I only have like two, three more slides after that. And then I'll be out of your way. So, how can Consult SHRM support your center? Consult SHRM partners with early childhood programs to strengthen the people and systems surrounding children, not simply respond when challenges arise. When I recognize that every center doesn't need the same level of support, that's why I begin to approach. I have this particular approach, which is three levels: ready, respond, and restore. Ready is all about preparation, right? What I do is I come in and I help equip educators through professional development, practical strategies, before challenges actually begin to escalate, right? So that is the ready, that is the first foundation. That's just saying, hey, I don't think I really need another person in this classroom, but maybe I just need another strategy to help navigate my classroom, help navigate the center. The next one is we have is respond. And respond is for educators and classroom that need like that additional support, applying like strategies in real life situations. This is where coaching, observation, strategy development, and follow up becomes extremely important because now we're ready to respond to maybe the confusion that may be happening in the classroom, right? Maybe you need strategy, maybe you need hands-on tools, maybe you just need somebody to sit in there, observe your classroom, and see the things that you're missing as an educator, and then also come up with a strategy plan and then follow up to see just how those implications are happening. And then the last one, which is my biggest program that I provide, is Restore. It provides a more intensive level of collaboration, consultation when behavior or emotional concerns persist and the team needs additional support around the child. So let's say that you have maybe two or three kids in your classroom who just are defiant, right? They have all these problem behaviors. They're making a disruptions, and you as an educator, you're trying to figure out, well, how? What do I need to do? What am I missing? What tools do I need, right? And so that is where I will come in. A team will come in, and we will observe the class, and we will begin to do some collaborative work just to ensure that we can add that additional support around the child. My goal is simple, right? It isn't to create dependence on my consultation firm, right? The goal is to build confidence within your center. And I believe that that is one of the biggest things that happen. So I'll come in, I'll help. Maybe you have a classroom assistant, or maybe you have a group of teachers, right? Within a maybe a particular preschool system. I am there to help support, to help push, just to help build that confidence within your centers. So, what does that actually look like in practice? So, what does a partnership with me look like? And we can go to the next slide. Ready, respond, and restore. Ready again helps you build the foundation. If your goal is strengthening your team, this is where we focus on professional development, emotional wellness education, behavior focused training, and practical classroom strategies. Respond is what takes us into the classroom where I begin to make observations, observe what's happening, coach educators, develop strategies, and support implications. And then come back to determine what's working and what may need adjustment. Maybe you don't need all of the things that you thought you needed up front. Maybe you just needed a breath. Maybe you just needed a moment, right? So I come in and I help with that. And then, of course, restore, as I've stated, that's our most intensive level of support. It allows for more individualized collaboration when there seems to be ongoing behavior or emotional concerns. And it brings the adults surrounding that particular child together to come up with practical strategies. The important thing is that your center doesn't have to fit into one size fits all programs, which is why I developed three tiers, right? And so, of course, if you decide to move forward with me, we'll have consultations, and I have further information in the next slide that kind of helps you to understand how you can connect with me and how we can move into a partnership. What I do is I meet your program where it is, and I help determine the level of support that it needs for the sense of your team. But I also believe that the work can't stop when the consultation leaves the building, right? So the work cannot stop when I leave the building. And then we can go to my next slide. This is actually one of my greatest tools. And this is just tools that extend beyond training. What I did was I took all of my knowledge, all of my education, all of my experiences, and I put them into three different books. Um, and so this is the tool beyond the training. So when Consult with Sherms leaves your classroom, or when Consult with Sherms leave your parents, those things like that, these are the things that I leave behind, right? Little people, big emotions. This book is for probably more so because we're dealing with ELC, early learning. So little people, big emotions. That one stems around the little people, right? Ages as early as they can read up to probably the age of 10. And what that book does is it teaches them how to manage their emotions, not only just manage their emotions, but it helps teach them how to identify their emotions. And I took the concept very basic. It is going through the ABCs. And so it's kind of similar to ABCs of emotion. So A is for anger. And that child has the ability to write in that A is for anger. This is what happens to me when I am angry, right? And so it has one small sentence to it. And then it also has a space where the child can write in the book and talk about what happens to their bodies when they're feeling that particular emotion. The next book is Journaling Through My Emotions, right? So this one's more so for the teens, for those that 11-year old up to young adults. So maybe not so much for ELC, but definitely it's a tool book for those who may have adult children or those who have teenagers. And so it takes them through their journey of emotions where they're able to identify emotions, what happens to them, who have they talked to kind of just help them. Get through their emotions. And then the last one is for my parents and caregivers. That's right. This one is for teachers, it's for adults, it's for caregivers, right? Anybody who's working with children in any space, I think that is very important. So what it is it's a manual that correlates between the two books, the children's book and the teens book, and it helps you understand that child just a little bit better. And so that is just the emotional wellness from the classroom to the home. So if you have parent teachers, or you have moments where parents are coming in, they're trying to figure out, how to articulate certain things to their children, then this is definitely a collection that I would uh, say that you probably need. Um, and we can go to the next slide. So this is how you can connect with me, right? Let's get together. Let's build healthier classrooms together. Let's support educators, strategies for classrooms, and stronger outcomes for children. This is where I want you all to understand that not every program represented here today is different, right? Your educators are different, your families are different, your children are different, and the challenges you're navigating may also be different. And that's why I would love the opportunity to continue this conversation. You can definitely send me an email at sharonconsult@gmail.com, or you can definitely visit my website and you will see an education tab there where you can book a consultation with me, and you can find out more about me if you would love more information about my books, more information about how Consult with Sherm can come into your schools and kind of just help you navigate that classroom setting. I am more than welcome to provide those opportunities for you. And so that is my presentation. I appreciate the opportunity again. And so if you would love to connect with me, there is all the information.
Thank you so much. We did have a question in the chat, and I did want to open up if we did have anybody else with questions.
Perfect for sure.
But we did ask how many people are on your consult team.
So it's a group of three individuals
Okay.
who are background in education, educators. Actually, one of them, she's been in education, I want to say like 33 years. And so definitely education. And then, of course, myself, I have some credentials. I've been working with children probably about 10 years now. I have my bachelor's, my master's. I am a RBT, registered RBT as well. And I'm also going through the BCBA program as well. And
Wonderful.
so that kind of tells you a little bit about my background, a little bit more.
Absolutely. So anyone, excuse me, any other questions, please feel free to put them in the chat. But thank you so much, Ebony. Really interesting, and it's great to have that extra support for our educators out there. So I did want to know actually where we can get your books. Where do we get your books?
So if you reach out to me, so the link is not live on my website just yet.
Okay.
But if you're looking to buy them in bulk, then you can send an email, and I'll definitely be able to purchase those at a bulking price. So that way, you're not paying for the full price for each book. So you can definitely send me an email. But hopefully, like in the next week or two, it should the link to order my books should be available through websites. My books will be available on Amazon and all other places where books are sold. So
Where books are
definitely
sold.
looking
It's
for
wonderful.
yeah,
Oh,
where books are
congratulations.
sold.
Yeah, where books
Thank you
are
so
sold.
much.
Well, that's awesome. Thank you so much. And they look really, really helpful. Love a good tool. So thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you.
All right. We'll move on to Stephanie from Kinder Motion. Stephanie, I think I saw you somewhere.
Yes, hello, how are you?
Hi. Good. Thank you. How are you? Welcome.
Bezrat Hashem. So we are Eshet Services Inc., Blue Princess Studios Kinder Emotion. We are a children's fitness program and rehabilitative program in the Palm Beach County and Coconut Creek and Margate area. Um, our Kinder Motion is part of Kinder Dance International. Sorry, excuse me. And Kinder Dance has been around for 40 years, working with children and families in multiple states across the United States. Let's see, so probably progress to the next slide if you could. Um, so we focus on total education, the complete education of the child. So everything from cognitive skills all the way to motor skills and balance and stability and coordination is what we focus on. We also have an early language readiness program that is integrated into our program with circle time and learning sight words. And it's based upon age and developmental level of the child. All of our instructors are certified in our program. And let's see if you want to move forward a little bit. Thank you. We are presently offering 3 programs in the Palm Beach County area, actually 4 programs. The first 2 that we wrote out this year are Kinder Motion, which is for ages 3 through 12, actually 12 plus with our program. And it's basically similar to an elementary or middle school level phys ed program. It's very fun, interactive, and engaging. We have all kinds of cool activities, and we keep the kids super engaged and active during the program. We are also featuring Kinder Tots, which is for ages 2 to 3. And that focuses on the balance and stability and motor skills coordination, helps get rid of those wiggly jigglies. And helps them to not plot so much. We also have kids yoga for ages 3 through 12 plus, and we have Kindred Gym, which is a pre-gymnastics program to continue working on balance and stability and motor skills coordination for ages 3 to 5. And we are also featuring an inclusive program as kind of a combined program that combines multiple programs for those with different capabilities and with ADHD. We have specific programs for those as well. The next slide, please. Yes, and we just went through this. So the yoga is a non-religious program, and it focuses on stability and flexibility, and like strength and kind of resistance to an extent, as well as good posture and alignment. It's also a good way to de-stress and to increase concentration in the attention span. Yeah, you can continue. Thank you. And the gym program, as I stated, we utilize balance beams, floor mats. We don't do any like flips or twirls or anything like that. We're just working on balance and stability and motor skills coordination. You can continue. And the motion, like I said, it focuses on the motor skills and agility. We include uh, educational materials regarding health and nutrition as well into this program. And it prepares children for future athletic endeavors. You can continue. And the TOTS, as I stated, is a program for ages 2 to 3. It focuses on the balance, stability, motor skills, coordination. We have some fun songs and fun activities that we do with the program. Um, and it's a very neat program. All right, so yep. So this program, since it's been around for 40 years, they have evaluated it. It has a lot of scientific research backing it from the parent organization. So it will stimulate the senses, everything from tactile to other sensory um, stimuli as well. It has lots of visual, like demonstrations and sound and everything like that. We utilize music and rhythm, and we do creativity through imagery and movement. And it develops the social and communicative skills, team building skills, um, and it focuses on improving self-esteem, self-expression, and improving the overall health as well. Okay, we can continue. And yes, our children are our future. So our programs focus on self-esteem, like building self-esteem, self-confidence, language development, gross and fine motor skills development, cognitive development, physical development, social skills, and the love of dance and movement and learning as well. So, and safety is always a focus of our program. So everything we do is basically taught to us from the corporate office, and they teach us how to ensure that the children are safe while in this program, and everything like that. So we have, like I said, we have the floor mats, we have certain equipment that we utilize, and of course the instructor is available to ensure the child is in the correct position so they don't injure themselves while performing any activity with our programs. Yeah, so that's about it. And I'm Stephanie Diaz. My daughter and my son and myself are the owners of the franchise. And we are working on establishing facilities. So if your organization or facility is interested in hosting our program, we bring all of our equipment on site. So there's nothing stored at your facility. And we show up, we set up, we hold classes. We are working on having 2 instructors per program, which means we can have higher class, like student ratios with our programs. And that works really well for the teamwork and, like the social engagement feature of the program. But we also utilize the 2 instructor method for improved safety as well as supervision of the class environment.
Wonderful.
Mhm.
Thank you. So they can, any of our providers can reach out to you and schedule something if
Yes.
they're interested in working with Kinder Dance.
Yes, and we are, like as I said, we have the early language readiness component. We are also working on rolling out a Spanish language component to our program. So it's a
Nice.
dual language program. We have an amazing instructor who is going to help us out with our Spanish component of our curriculum as well as the
Wonderful.
general curriculum.
Mm. If anyone has any questions, please feel free to shoot them in the chat or reach out directly to Stephanie. Thank you so much, Stephanie.
Thank you so much. Have a good day.
Yes.
Shabbat
Yep.
shalom.
Thank you. And we'll move on to August from Kudo.
Hi, my
Kodo?
name
Hi,
it's Kodo.
Kodo. Thank you.
Yes, you're welcome. Kodo means to elevate.
Ah,
I'm the regional sales manager for Kodo, and really our mission is to transform education through playful tools that turn questions into discoveries and abstract concepts into hands-on understanding. You can flip to the next slide if you'd like. A little history. We're an early childhood STEM company based in Colorado, and it was founded in 2008, all by this design that you see here on in this PowerPoint. This is Chris Hume and his son, who was 2 years old at the time, and he was working with parents during a training and created what's called a chalk spinner. So this is like a on a lazy Susan, and kids can use it to, as it spins around, then they can use it to write on and make different patterns. So great pre-literacy skills going on with this item. And Nacy loved it. So that's really the item that started our company in 2008. And you can go to the next screen. We are a company that basically makes all of our items, our innovations in United States, which is very rare. We have a design and engineering team, a manufacturing team, a shipping team, education team. And I always say this, they forgot to include our sales team on here as well, but we have a fabulous sales team for Kodo. Okay, go to the next screen, please. These are some of our main innovations, a light lab, magnet wall, wind tunnel, and ramps. And I will go into more detail in some of the other slides. So if you want to scroll on to the next. This is our light lab. I love the light lab. It's very unique. Usually light tables have a white light only. This one does have color, but the children, if you look at, there's three knobs, the children can manipulate the colors that they want. So this is a great way to experiment with mixing colors. We usually do that with paint. This allows you to do that with light. So as you can see, the three knobs have the primary colors on it. We all know as educators, if you mix red with blue, it's going to turn purple. So as the kids turn that red knob all the way to the right and the blue knob all the way to the right, it will change to a purple color. This allows for many opportunities to for rich vocabulary around math, science, literacy, art, and creative play, making learning more interactive and engaging. And if you could go to the next slide, please. This is our beautiful wind tunnel. I am super obsessed with our wind tunnel. Allows children to really experiment with wind. Here in Florida, we are, have hurricane season. So I feel that the wind tunnel allows children to really talk about weather and wind and offers them a hands-on opportunity learning about air movement, drag force through active investigation. It can do more than just flying these cute little silk scarves through. I like to pair things with books. My background's in literacy. A great book to pair with this is The Three Little Pigs. You can read the story, and then the kids can discuss the figurative language when pigs fly. What does that mean? Can pigs really fly? And can we make them fly in the wind tunnel? So you just give children the materials to experiment, and then they can try to fly little pigs through the wind tunnel. And it's one of my most favorite activities to participate in. Next slide, please. This is our magnet wall. So you can transform any space into an engaging STEM learning environment, sparking curiosity and exploration in children. As children experiment with magnetic ramps, rings, and cups, they develop a hands-on understanding of key concepts like gravity, slope, momentum, and cause and effect relationships.
This vertical play fosters essential skills across multiple learning domains, including critical thinking, problem solving, and physical science exploration. By investigating the magic of magnetism, children gain a deeper appreciation for the principles of science and the joy of discovery. Can you go to the next slide? So Kodo also has a beautiful array of ramps. The one that's seen in the picture is our rubber ramp. So ramp play really provides children with hands-on ways to explore concepts like force, motion, gravity, friction, and slope while fostering creativity and problem-solving skills. As they build and experiment with ramps, children strengthen both fine and gross motor skills through actions like pushing, rolling, and adjusting angles. This open-ended exploration introduces foundational ideas in physics, engineering, and math, offering an engaging introduction to STEM learning. By using ramps alongside everyday items like furniture or books, children can investigate how different slopes and surfaces influence speed and movement, sparking curiosity and critical thinking. I also use ramp play in like to kind of assess for comprehension after reading a story. Children can reenact the story. For example, we're going on a bear hunt. After reading it, you can have the kids set up the ramp play to see if they can get their ball to roll in the same path that you went on in the bear hunt story. And this will allow you to assess if they are understanding beginning, middle, and end of a story as well. Can you go to the next slide, please? Kodo offers many collections such as art, blocks, discovery, outdoor, literacy, social emotional, sand and water, and math. So playing with loose parts encourages creativity, critical thinking, problem solving in young children as they explore open-ended materials. And by arranging, stacking, sorting, and combining things like natural objects, recycled materials, or manipulatives, children develop fine motor skills and spatial awareness. So loose play supports early math, science, and engineering concepts as children experiment with balance, symmetry, patterns, and cause and effect. Could you go to the next slide, please? Kodo offers some professional development support for virtual or in person, and also virtual small group coaching. You have the ability to work with our educators to customize your training to specific products you purchase, ensuring you get the most out of your investment. This is designed for teachers, coaches, parents, or sessions aligned with class or state standards, providing practical strategies to enhance learning and engagement. Next slide, please. Kodo also understands that families are important to learning, and so bringing in development from whatever they're learning in school back at home. Kodo also has these beautiful family engagement kits. Some providers are using these as a lending library where families can check these out and still be able to experiment with STEM at home. So there's two kits available, the Construct and Explore, which is my favorite, and the Ramps and Motion. Next slide, please. Every month there is a bundle. This is actually outdated. This was an April bundle. So it comes with all of the materials and 10 ways to play, lesson plans, connecting how this applies to those key concepts of development and aligns to early learning. And the last slide, I believe, any questions for me? And my information's on the next slide. If you just want to share that, that would be great. This is my contact information. If anybody wants to contact me, set up a meeting or anything to discuss anything that you may have seen that caught your interest. I'm also here to help you figure out how STEM is so important and kind of missing in our classrooms. So I'm looking forward to partnering with everybody. I appreciate the Early Learning Coalition, Palm Beach, for having me speak today, and let me know if you guys have any questions or anything else for me. Thank you.
Well, thank you, August. Yeah, that looks like so much fun. I love all those STEM things. Awesome. So if you do have any questions, please feel free to put them in the chat. And of course, we will post our video online. So sometimes you will hear from people that are watching later on, over the time through our YouTube channel. So thank you so much. And really, really fun stuff. So thanks again. All right, we're moving quickly today. So we will move on to Edgar. Is he here somewhere?
Yes, I'm
From Home
here.
Safe. Hi, Edgar. How are you?
Good, good. How are you?
Good, thanks.
Good. All right. Thank you so much for having me. It's been a little minute since we last spoke, but I'm very excited to be back and to talk to you all about HomeSafe, and I have a nice little update at the end. But if you have not heard of HomeSafe before, we've been in Palm Beach County since 1979, and these are our four main programs. So we have group homes for children in the foster care system between 7 and 17 who have experienced acute trauma. So we have housing for them and specialized therapy for them as well. Our independent living program is a continuation. So as they're aging out of that system, we have housing, affordable housing for them, where they can get that stable foundation for them to tackle adult life, as long as they continue their education or they gain employment. We have safety net, so that's services for survivors of domestic violence. So it's for parents and children. And what I'll be focusing on today is Healthy Beginnings. We are the entry agency to a system of care funded by CSC, and I'll touch on that a little bit more in the next couple of slides. So some of the teams you might be in contact with at Home Safe, the hospital liaisons, they're stationed at every maternity ward in Palm Beach County. And they talk to moms that are about to deliver just to assess their situation, see if they have any support or if they need any sort of resources to make sure they are set to be able to foster that development of their child, especially in the early stages. We have the outreach educators, so they're out into the community, and they do the ages and stages questionnaire with the parents at their homes and kind of start the process of guiding them to the appropriate resources that can help the child. We have the assessment team that's made up of developmental consultants. They do more specialized and more granulated assessments for those families to really tailor the programs and services that we connect them to. And I'll explain how they all work in our process. And lastly, we have the system navigators. They focus on safe sleep. They make sure that parents have a safe place for the child to sleep. And if they don't, and the child's under 1 year old, they'll provide a free pack and play. They also help with Medicaid and food stamps for families in Palm Beach County. So if you go to the next slide, I'll talk about the Healthy Beginning System of Care. So if you're not aware, the Children's Services Council funds this system of care. That's a web of agencies and programs, so over 33 agencies and over 50 programs and services. And they're tailored to the families in the community. So they range from maternal health, screening and nutrition services to outreach program for teens. And HomeSafe, as I mentioned earlier, is the entry agency to the system of care. So essentially, we're the first couple of steps. We get a picture of the family as a whole, as a system, and we're able to guide them to the programs and services that can provide them the resources and the skills to make sure that not only is their child ready for kindergarten, but that the whole family is supported and is able to tackle life as they continue moving forward. And the next slide, I believe, yes, I mentioned how we work with the Early Learning Coalition. So some of you providers here may be aware that we work with the Early Learning Coalition, the School Readiness Program. So when a parent signs up to get the voucher from ELC, they can consent to having the screenings, the ASQs done by themselves or the provider. And we work with ELC to get the families that score concern in any one area of the ASQ. We'll get in contact with them and we'll introduce them to our process to make sure that they're able to access those services to make sure that their child is ready for kindergarten. As a reminder, all of our appointments and all of the services or agencies that we refer to are completely free. We don't need insurance. We don't need any sort of migration status confirmation or anything like that. The only requirements are that the family lives in Palm Beach County and the child is under 5 years old. If you go to the next slide, please. You can go to the next slide as well. This is the visual of the process between HomeSafe and ELC. I'm sure some of you may be familiar with this roadmap, but it'll walk you down through the whole process from having the parent fill out the questionnaires. They have a certain amount of days, and if they don't, it moves to the provider. And if there's, again, a concern, that we get in contact with the family with the help of ELC to make sure we reach the families. In the next slide, I can talk about the referral process of HomeSafe as a whole. So the lighter shade of green is the usual process for someone that doesn't have the EOC voucher. So essentially, we'll get referrals from doctors' offices, pediatricians, from childcare centers like yourselves, or the parent can call the referral line that's at the bottom, and we'll schedule an appointment with an outreach educator to go do the ages and stages questionnaire with the parent and the child at their home, where they're most comfortable. If, again, there's a concern in any of the areas of development, then we make a second level assessment with the developmental consultants that I mentioned earlier from the assessment team. So they're specialized in child development and familial relationships. So they'll do these more developed or more detailed assessments, to get a better picture of the family as a system and be able to refer them to whatever agency will be able to help them the most. And in the darker shade of green, that's the ELC funded children portion. So since you as providers have already screened the child with the ASQs, once we get the referral, we're able to move them into that second assessment, that second appointment a little bit quicker. So as you can see, this is just a way to show that the system of care is a way to get these services in a little bit more of an expedited manner and how we can help to accomplish that. If you can go to the next slide. This, if you're ever curious about what kind of assessments or programs we work with, on the left-hand side are the initial assessments. So the Florida Universal Infant Screen is done by the hospital liaisons that I mentioned earlier, and the ASQs are done by US providers or our outreach educators. In the middle there are the assessments that the developmental consultants will do, the ones that are a little bit more detailed that I've mentioned. And they're, again, giving us a better picture to be able to refer to the appropriate agency that are on the right. This is not all of the programs that are offered by the Children's Services Council. These are just the ones that we work with the closest and the ones that you probably are the most familiar with. So you have Forward Leaps, First Steps to Success, Early Steps Child Find. If the concern is on the ASQ 3, if it's on the ASQ SE, then the agency we work with is Triple P, Counseling Services, or Child First. You can go to the next slide, please. What are the benefits of going through HomeSafe as the entry agency? As I mentioned, this expedites the process. Families can go to these agencies on their own, but a lot of them have a lot of wait times because they have a lot of a need and a lot of demand. So if you go through HomeSafe, we act as a funnel essentially to the system of care. So we're able to get those first few appointments relatively soon, within a few weeks of each other or less than that, so we can get the referral into those programs as early as possible. And the other great benefit of going through HomeSafe is that we're not just focused on the development of the child. Like I mentioned, we're looking at the family as a whole. So we're also assessing what the parent needs, what support they need, what resources or skills they may need in order to not only deal with the stress of their own life, but be able to be engaged and foster the development of the child. As I mentioned earlier, we can help with Medicaid and food stamps. So we're looking at how to support the whole family to make sure that the child is ready for kindergarten. You can go to the next slide, please. And you go to the next one. And I'll talk about two other ways that we want to work with you as providers to be able to engage parents and meet them where they're at. And this is through ASQ playdates and ASQ screening events. So the playdates on the left-hand side, we essentially have parents come in with their child. We've done this at libraries, community centers, and other childcare centers. And we're divided different stations depending on the ranges of the ages of the children that are present. But we're not showing the parent or workshopping, we're teaching them that play is the best way to foster development. So we're teaching them that these are skills that they can work on, that play is the best way to foster that development. And it's a great way to just interact and engage with the child to foster that relationship between parent and child. On the right-hand side, we have the screening events. So this is where we have, again, we've done these in library or community centers and other childcare centers, where we have our outreach educators come to the space with the parents that sign up. So we have the parent and the child come in, and we'll do the screenings again where they're at. We want to meet parents where they're at, and then we're able to kind of put them through the process depending on the results of the ASQs. We would recommend that you suggest or market these events more to the children that don't have the ELC voucher, just so that we don't double dip. Since you guys are already doing the ASQs, we want to be able to reach the ones that may be falling through the cracks, make sure that they're screened as well. If you can go to the next slide, please. Toxic stress. So this is the big deal of why we do what we do. As I mentioned earlier, this is why we're looking at as a family, as a whole, as a system. We know that there's a lot of adversity going for families. I'm sure you've heard stories or you've experienced yourself, from parents working multiple jobs to the living cost rising exponentially, to migration stress. This just accumulates and snowballs for parents. So this has a lot of different effects. So it prevents the parent from being present and being able to deal with their daily life. It affects the way that they communicate, that they engage, and that they raise their children. And children are able to absorb all of this stress. They're sponges. So they're absorbing this, and this is affecting the development as well. So this is delaying milestones. This is causing behavioral issues. So what we want to do, again, to support the whole family is to intervene as early as possible, see what support we can offer. But again, we want to make sure that parents know that they're the experts on the development of their child. So we're giving them this skill so that they can continue this work even when you're done with Home Safe and any other programs. And on the next slide, we're almost done. I just have a picture of the referral form. I believe I sent this out, so they'll be delivered to you. If you like any physical versions, you can always contact me, and I can, swing by your center, talk to you in person, and give you this in the physical form, or I can email you the digital form. So this is a way for the children that are private pay to be entered into the process. This is for providers to fill out on behalf of the parents with the parents' consent, of course. Or the easiest way is just to have the parent call our referral line, which will be on the last slide. And if you want to go ahead and go to that last slide, the referral line is a 561-383-9871. So parents can call that line. We have referral coordinators that speak English, Spanish, and Creole. So we're going to be able to assist families in any language that they speak. And they're going to help you set up that appointment with the outreach educators, as I mentioned. And certainly, last but not least, I just want to give a few minutes to my new colleague, Jenny Sorondo. She's the new community liaison for Home Safe. I believe she's here if she just wants to pop in and say hi real quick.
I'm right here, Edgar. Hi, thank you very much for having us. And I saw a question on the chat okay, it says, what is the current length of time a family center child or needs to wait before the child with an ASQ concerns receives services? That will be depends of the service that they might need, of how they get to the services. Like Edgar before said, if they go through us, it's gonna be like more directly to talk to the services, because most of the providers, like the ones in one of the slides, they already given a specific services. They send us to the referrals for us to do the ASQs and the first assessments for them to have all the results before they start doing the treatment with the kid. So the short answer will be that will be depends. And of course, we more than open to answer any questions. If the kid have a concern in ASQ from the Early Learning Coalition, we will be making the second level assessment or the next assessment to make the right referral for the kids. Otherwise, we start the ASQs again and we can help the families out.
Yes. And to answer the previous question, what is the process to work with the center? So once we do that second level assessment and the referral is sent, the developmental consultant that sees the family will get in touch with the center to let them know the outcome. Due to HIPAA laws, they might not be able to tell you exactly what agency, unless what agency they refer to, unless the parent gave them permission to disclose that information. but at least we'll let you know whether or not they've started services. And beyond that, you can always contact us if you need any updates or any referrals you send. We want to work with you. And now that there's two of us, we want to double our efforts to make sure that we support you providers and doing the great work that you do.
Wonderful. Thank you so much. Thanks, Edgar. And Janice? Janice? Is that
Janice.
Janice, thank you. Nice to meet
Janice.
you.
Nice to meet you
Welcome
too.
aboard for wonderful. So if we have any other questions, please, providers, feel free to throw them in the chat, and you guys will be available in the background if we need anything. But thank you so much for your presentation. Nice to see you guys, and we'll see you soon.
All right. Thank you so much again.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay, we're going to move on to Palm Beach State College. I'm not exactly sure the order, so you guys know better than me which one is going first.
Hi, good morning, everybody.
Hey, Lucia.
I am Lucia Adrian, and I am a program director at Palm Beach State College. Very happy to be here today. And I'm just going to talk to you a little bit about our program. Basically, I'm the one in the office who does just about everything related to DCF courses and exams. But I'm going to give you an overview of what we do at our school. Early childhood and after school programs. We have the programs from the very beginning, from entry level and through degree program. Delivery, we have face-to-face, we have live online, and we have online courses. So we try to meet everyone's needs. Training is affordable. There's scholarship opportunities. Of course, there's SEEK, which you'll hear about shortly. There's a prime time, and there's also teach scholarships that can be used. And we have career advising and lots of support throughout the whole pathway, throughout the whole career. Okay, next. Okay, the entry level, we have the 40-hour introductory childcare training. And I just want to tell you that, and the 30-hour family childcare has now transitioned to continuing education. Still Palm Beach State College, but it's through continuing education. So the easiest way to access that is to go to the Palm Beach State College website, pbsc.edu, and then put in CCE, and it'll take you to our page, and you'll see all of our courses that are listed. The registration system for these courses is so much easier than it was before. There's no application fee. It's just like a few questions, and then you register, and you do have to pay when you register. And before, there was an in-state and an out-of-state cost. If you were out of state, you had to pay quite a bit more. That doesn't exist anymore. Everyone pays the same price. So that's a good news. Also, we have the 40-hour school age training, and that's still through the way it was before. Okay. Also, we have the FCC PC program. We have ECPC program and the school age SAPC. So we have pretty much everything available. Then you can go on to early childhood education through associate degree, human services, youth development. And of course, the Institute of Excellence offers all the professional development training that anyone could want. They do a fantastic job. Okay, next. Additional resources, DCF, course competency exam. I do want to ask if anybody has any, wants to respond to me through chat. Want to make sure that we are offering enough competency exams. We do have about 5 to 6 a week. Our locations are a little bit small, so we offer them more frequently. We offer them on all 5 locations. We're back to offering them at the Loxahatchee Groves, and that is doing quite well. So we have all 5. Most of them, the majority, I would say, are at Lake Worth because that's our biggest population. So if you have any comments, anything you want to know about the exams, please let us know. You should have the exam attached to the website with all the notes from the meeting, from the ELC meeting. You should have our schedule. Of course, you have to register through the Department of Children and Families, but it does give you an idea, how many exams and where, and, if somebody has a question. Trauma-informed care. We are offering on starting September 17th, and that is a course that if you qualify, that SEEK will pay for the course and the books. So that's wonderful. It's a wonderful opportunity for directors. It's a great opportunity too if you need to renew your director's credential. And it's a very, I'm partial, but it's a very good course. Okay, next, please. Okay, we have some new web pages that are coming out. We have the infant toddler, we have preschool, we have early childhood education, and the child care center management. So they're excited. Some of these are already full. The college they're revamping our web pages and make them new and improved. So it's a great step, a lot easier for everyone. Okay, and next. Okay. Early childhood and school-age professional certification programs, updated web pages, as I just said. We have new administrative support. We have a few new people in our office, so that's wonderful. Great staff. And we have our fall schedule, which is just about to start. Classes start in general. The college classes start on Friday. The 40-hour class starts September 1st, so please enroll. Oh, I wanted to mention about one thing. I'll go back to the rest of this. In terms of the 40-hour, we have, of course, as always, in English. We have it in Spanish. And we have in English with a Creole instructor. So in case someone speaks Creole and their English is not perfect yet, the instructor can translate or, help explain something. Okay. 2026 enrollment snapshot for the certificate program. There's a waiting list, so we are completely full. So if anyone's interested, they can join the waiting list, but probably it'll be for next spring. So both the ECPC and FCCPC are completely full. 40-hour school age is still accepting applications, and the school age certificate program is also accepting applications. Okay, and next. Okay, here are the links to our web pages. If you're interested in getting more information, there is a lot of everything you need to know is on these pages. So if you have questions, of course, you can call our office or you can go through the web pages and kind of see what all the requirements are, what we offer. Okay, and next. Okay, program brochures. We have all of the brochures here. All the certification programs, 40-hour school age, all of that is here. You can click, and I'm sure they're on the website as well for ELC. Okay, and next. Okay, this has been out now for a while, but just as a reminder, the Haitian Creole exams are available. So that's one of the choices that this personnel can make when they are choosing exams. I know that there have been some questions about some of the wording in the exams, and I think that's a little bit because of different maybe dialects. But DCF is redoing these exams, so hopefully they'll be out and they'll be better than they are now. I know they go through a rigorous process when they evaluate all the questions, and they give it to a lot of different people to look at to make sure that the language is understandable, but they've decided that they're going to be redoing it, but they are offered, so in case somebody needs them. Okay. Next. All right, we have a new director. Her name is Deidre Moreland, and she's been with us a few weeks now. She's fabulous. So I'm sure if you have any questions, she will bend over backwards to get you answers. She's wonderful. Of course, there's me. Marsha Marie Mosley is the program director for the certificate programs. And then Casey Wilbanks is the chairperson for early childhood. And we have Dr. Susie Duff, who is the Human Services Department chair. Okay. And next. Okay. I think I already mentioned, but there is a SEEK scholarship that's available for the certificate programs, and they also go through the master's level, and I'm sure Zach will talk about that. And there is a primetime scholarship that supports certificate programs for school age and youth development. Okay, and next. All right.
Before you go, we did have a couple of questions come in, Lucia, through the chat.
Sure. Mm-hmm.
We haven't moved any of the 40-hour training exams online yet?
Not yet. I know that that is a priority for GCF, but what they're looking at and why I think it's taking a little bit longer than we ever expected is that they don't want to increase the cost for the student. So they have to find a way to do this without, because they're very concerned about making sure that everybody has access to our, to the classes and to the exams. So I think that I have not heard when they're coming out with it. I know they have researched it. So if I have anything in our next meeting, I'll let you know. But as of now, they are still in person.
Okay. And then could you explain a little bit the difference between the ECPC and the national CDA?
Marsha Marie, are you there? Do you want to explain it?
Hey there. Good morning. Can everyone see me?
The top of your head, I think.
Oh no. Wait, there we go. How about now? Can anyone see me now? No?
Still just sort of the top of your head. I think your camera's just pointed a little high.
Oh right here.
There you are.
All right.
Hi.
I have like 3 cameras. Hold on. Do I have to Now this is a new. I'm gonna hold this. All right.
Okay.
So you can you see me right here?
Absolutely. Yes.
Okay. All right. So I'm looking in the chat right there. Oh, I see. Okay. Yes, the ECPC is a credential, but we have to remember the ECPC is more of a Florida credential versus the national CDA. It's a national credential which recognized through the Council for Professional Regulation. I think I'm saying that. No, recognition. The Council for Professional Recognition. So it is not the same. ECPC is more Florida based. The national is national. It's through the Council for Professional Recognition. If that makes sense, if you guys can hear me and see me. I don't
It
even know
does,
where
and
you
we
guys
can.
are now. I just lost total view. I
So you lost your view.
I don't even know what camera I'm looking at now. I
Oh.
don't.
That's
I
all
don't.
right. Well, we see you just fine. You look lovely. Thank you so much for explaining that.
You're
Does
welcome.
it take,
You're welcome.
do you know how, actually now she's kind of asking the difference between the FCCPC and the ECPC. So we might as well go down that path too. What's
Oh
the
yeah,
difference
yeah,
between
yeah. And
those
I
two?
can't see you. I don't even know where you are, but as long as
That's
you can
okay.
see me and hear me. So the ECPC stands for Early Childhood Professional Certification, and it has more of a preschool focus. So you're looking at 2, 3, 4, 5 ish, versus the FCCPC, which stands for the Florida Child Care Professional Credential, has more of an infant focus. So you're looking at from birth to 3 years.
Beautiful. Perfect. All right. And I just briefly, just to go down that, what's the time frame between an FCCPC, ECPC to achieve that credential and maybe a national CDA, just for
So for my program, you can achieve your ECPC and or your FCCPC within that semester because it's broken down. One semester is broken down into 3 modules. So
okay.
you can actually achieve that. Now, when it comes to CDA, I believe there's an added layer for the national because you have to actually take a test. There's more documentation that needs to be provided for the national level. So I don't know the time frame for that specifically for a national CDA.
But you start with an FCCPC, or is it the coursework different?
I believe you have to start with the ECPC or the FCCPC. You have to start there. And it kind of like builds upon that. I believe if Lena's on the line, I believe she can probably more go into depth about the national CDA.
Okay. No, just out of curiosity, because she
Yeah.
asked. And then does Palm Beach State offer a master's degree?
At this time, not yet.
It's okay.
Not yet. I don't want to say no, not yet. Not yet.
Not
Right
yet.
now, we just have our early childhood AA, and that's through Professor Cassandra Wilbanks.
Beautiful. But Seek Scholarship can be used towards master degree, just at a different university.
I'm going to defer that answer to
Zach.
Zach, who I
Yeah.
think is over the Seek Scholarship.
Yes.
So yeah, I'll defer to his answer on that one.
Beautiful. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. You're welcome.
All right. Okay. And there are different ways to get the national CDA. I believe, yes, there's a multiple of organizations that are approved by DCF to offer the coursework for your national CDA. I've seen a list on their website, and Palm Beach State College is an approved site for some of the coursework. So absolutely. All right, Lucia, I'm sorry I cut in on you. You ready to keep going, or are we changing to someone else?
Just about at
Is
the
this about done?
I'm just about done. Anyway, if you have any questions, please reach out to us. I am always at my desk, so I'm easy to reach. But we'll be happy to help you. Please sign up for our classes. We need some enrollment this semester. Okay. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you, Lucia. Who do we have next?
Zach.
Zach?
Well, good morning, everybody.
There he is. Hi, Zach.
Happy Thursday, and thank you, everybody, for being here. We really appreciate it. As said, my name is Zachary Scuderi. I work at the Institute of Excellence here at Palm Beach State College, and I'm the assistant director here. So I oversee the advising team, Seek Scholarship, along with our life skills team. So I'm going to talk about some of the resources, some of the things we have here at the Institute. Next slide, please. So this is one of the areas in which we have. So we have an outreach advising service and a team. So if you have any questions about, what kind of classes you'd like to take, what kind of, the process in order to be able to become a student, we have a wonderful team of outreach advisors. What you see right there, Raquel Gary, she's the manager of the advising team. If you reach out to her, anybody that is eligible for Seek Scholarship is assigned an individual or is assigned an advisor. So if you just reach out to Raquel or give her a call, she'll be able to get you in contact with one of those advisors. Next. And here's this is one of our other programs. We have a micro-credential program. So what this is we have a number of HEOs, which are those professional development trainings that we have. We have college credit coursework, ECPC, FCCPC coursework, which we've heard already. So we have a micro-credential system. So as you, one, seek scholarship can pay for all of these if you're eligible. And two, as you move along, you'll see certain, it's incentivized. So there's certain awards and incentives that you can actually receive as you go through these micro-credentials. So we'll look at a couple of them if you go to the next page. So this is an example of one of the micro-credentials. So if you look at the blue boxes, we're going to use that top line as an example. So if you complete all three of those HEO trainings, that's going to get you to a badge. And that badge is also incentivized. Again, this is if you are eligible for this incentive. That'll give you a badge. All of those different lines, so those eight HEO trainings, those are all going to give you different badges. Once you satisfy all the badges in that area, it's going to take you to a credential. So along the way, as you're taking all of these trainings and all of these coursework, and we'll talk about other areas, is that we're going to not only pay for the actual classes, but we're going to incentivize you as you go. And Raquel Gary and her team can explain anything that you need to know about any of these resources that we're talking about. You can always reach out to me. So get at least one of our numbers down so we can get in touch with you if you have any questions. Next. These are the HEOs that I was talking about. So these are the ones that we in-house, we create them, we provide them, and as you'll see, these are the ones for the upcoming fall term. So we have different styles and different formats. So we have in English, we have in Spanish, we have online, we have face-to-face. There are hybrids that we have. So it's important to know. So it's based on the style that you like to learn, the style that you're able to learn, because we know that many of you are very, very busy. And all of our HEO trainings have different deadlines. So make sure that if you do have a question, make sure you check out our calendar or you reach out to us specifically so we can make sure that you know what deadline it is. But keep this in the back of your mind when you are looking at these. Our deadlines for our HEOs are typically about 2 weeks prior to the start of the class. Now we do that because we have to process the applications, we have to send an award letter, we have to put payment in place, and if there's a book that's required, we want to make sure that the bookstore has the book for you. So again, this is a list, and I believe the next slide, if you go to the next slide as well, this is a continuation of some of the HEO trainings that we offer. And again, as you look at these, you'll see that they all have different deadlines. So make sure that you know what the deadline is, because if you do submit an application after that deadline, unfortunately, we can't accept it. So it's important that you know what the process is for that and reach out to us so we can explain that if you have any questions. Next, please. All right, here's another incentive with the micro-credential system, and which is very important for everybody to know. Again, based on eligibility for college credit courses as well. So we're going to use that top bullet as an example. So for the EEC 1523, EEC 2002, EEC 2202, and EEC 2521. If you complete all four of those classes, that's going to put you into a credential. And that credential means that you've satisfied an area of study, and you could be eligible for $600 for, just like we did with the other HEO trainings. The same thing happens with our college credit coursework. So this is, like I said, again, based on eligibility, it's really important that you see if you're eligible for these things. So reach out to us so we can let you know based on where you're working, your position, how many hours you work, if you would be eligible for these. Next, please. And we talked about the ECPC, FCCPC credential. We have another micro-credential incentive for this as well. So as you go through, you complete the 3 different modules. Once you complete those modules, you complete the certification, and you actually have your ECPC, FCCPC, we'll incentivize that as well. So I know a lot of times the ECPC, FCCPC is something in which it's one of the first, it's a lot of times one of the first things that individuals do once they get into this area. So please reach out to us as soon as if you have any questions, so we can kind of get you on the right path with any of these resources that we're talking about. Next, please. This is just some information about the Micro-Credential Award program that we're talking about right now, the Institute of Excellence, and the Eventbrite registration. So the HEOs that I was talking about earlier, we have that you register those through the Eventbrite system. I want to say, 3, maybe 4 years ago, we transitioned over to the Eventbrite system. So it's important to be able to become familiar with that. The process is very easy, but that is the method in which we're using at this time in order to be able to register and be able to get in some of those trainings that we're talking about. Next, please. So this is Seek Scholarship, and we're just going to touch on just a couple of the areas of eligibility. There are some other areas based on the position that you're working on, all that kind of stuff, the age groups. But this is just, some of them. So, and those of you that have been around for a while, this has changed a little bit. So working at least 16 hours a week. It used to be 20. So now we've shifted to 16 hours. So that is a little bit of a difference. It's 4 hours, but that 4 hours could be a big difference to some people. Working with children 0 to 5, and receiving some type of subsidy. You also need to be in good standing with Seek Scholarship. What that means is that if you are using Seek funds, we do expect that you pass a class or a training with an A, B, C, a P, or an S. If you don't, that's okay. We'll work with you to be able to get you eligible again. However, it is something in which we make sure that you are in good standings in order for us to be able to continue with the scholarship. You're going to see an effective Monday, February 23rd. So this was about 6 months ago, but for some people, it might be new information. For about a decade, we used an old registry system that is no longer active, and now we've shifted on February 23rd of this year to the Wells system. So if you do want to apply for any kind of Seek scholarship, get an application on file, you do need to go through the new Wells registry system. If you have any questions, if you're not sure what that means, if you're not sure where to go, there's my contact information. Please reach out to me. We'll get you in good hands, and we'll be able to guide you through those steps. Next, please. And we have another program, the life skills coaching team. So what this is we have a team of 3, in which if there are things that are going on with you, there are things going on with your staff, if it's time management, if there's a level of stress, what the team does is they'll create sessions to be able to work with you or to be able to work with your entire team. They can do it virtually. They can come to your site. They can do it over the phone. And what they'll do is they'll just kind of talk you through and be able to say, hey, if you are having, stress, like thinking, going back to school or during the holidays or summer break or something like that. We create sessions in order to be able to say, hey, we know this is stressful. We know that you guys have a lot on your plate. These are some tips in which you might be able to use in order to be able to kind of, help in those moments. So Shelly is our manager. Please take her number and reach out to her if this is something of interest to you, and we'd be happy to work with you and your site. Next, please. This is the team. So this is the life skills coaching team. We also have a Wellness Wednesday. So what this is on Wednesdays, we try to create a podcast. And what that podcast is in English and Spanish. So it kind of gives you a view of the things that we talk about, the things that we do. So please, if you have a chance, please visit our website and look at our Wellness Wednesday podcast. It'll kind of give you an idea of what you could expect if you do want to work with this team. Next, please. If you have any questions, like I said, please reach out to us and let us know if there's anything that we can help you with. That's why we're here, to be able to help you, to be able to guide you when it comes to anything that you have a question about, trainings, college credit coursework, really anything, or just really support as being a provider. So next. And please make sure to follow us on social media. I think that's it for me, I think.
All right. Thank you so much, Zach.
No problem.
We did have so 2 people with not a question, but we did have one person ask for more information about obtaining her master's degree.
Okay.
So she certainly can reach out to you.
Absolutely.
Or Raquel and her team for that. And then Melissa did ask about the VPK voucher. Is that considered a subsidy? which was a change we had in our qualifications for SEEK earlier this year, right?
Correct. And you can reach out to me directly if you'd
Mm-hmm.
like to. And I'd be happy to be able to kind of explain the changes that we went through with the VPK. And then there's, certain things in which there's certain contracts that are there and available in order for you to be able to access, to be able to possibly get that your site eligible again. But yeah, if it's VPK only, unfortunately, that is not something in which is going to be SEEK eligible any longer. About 6 months ago it was, but that is no longer the case. But again, if you want to reach out to me directly, I'm happy to be able to kind of discuss it with you and see next steps in order to be able to get those eligible criteria again.
Beautiful. Awesome. Thanks, Zach.
Thank you, everybody.
All right. We'll move on to ELC updates. And Brenda, I think you're up first.
Thank you, Gina.
Hi,
Can you hear
Brenda.
me? Yeah. Okay,
Yes, ma'am.
perfect. So, hi everyone. My name is Brenda Rivera. For those who don't know me yet, I'm part of the early intervention team and oversee our developmental screening process. And today, I just want to briefly go over the recent changes to the developmental screening rule and how we can continue working together to support families. Next slide, please. All right. So what changed? The biggest change is the amount of time families have to complete the screenings. Before, families had 5 days, and now they have 20 calendar days to complete it through their family portal account. On the other hand, providers continue to have 45 calendar days to complete the screening, and another positive change is that state observed holidays are now excluded from those 45 days. What has changed for the provider is what really has changed for the provider is when those 45 days begin. So the provider screening start date is no longer tied to the enrollment date or the child's first date of attendance as it was before. Now, the provider's 45 time frame begins after the parent's 20-day time frame has ended. There is one exception, and if and it's when a parent chooses to defer the screening to the provider during the enrollment process, the screening may appear on the provider site sooner with a screening start date based on the enrollment date or the child's first date of attendance. So basically, families now have a much larger window to complete the screening themselves before it moved to the provider's site. And I think this is a great news for families, but your support and collaboration are still essential in helping them complete the developmental screening. Next slide, please. And this is really the part that I want to focus on today. With these additional 20 days, ELC and you, as a provider, have a great opportunity to help increase family participation. It doesn't have to be anything complicated or create additional work. It's just as simple of a reminder that can make a big difference. And as early intervention team, we are also making additional efforts to collect these screenings on our end, not only through reminder emails or text messages that we were sending before, but also by calling families and offering them to complete the screening over the phone with one of our specialists. If you see the parent dropping off the child or picking up the child, you can also remind them that the screening is still available in their family portal account. So you can answer any question if they are unsure about the screening process, or simply encourage them to complete it while it's still in their family portal account. The goal is really to use those everyday interaction that you already have with families to encourage them to complete the screenings. Next slide, please. So you may be wondering, how do I know which families still have the screening in their end? There's actually a very simple way to identify them through the provider portal using the search tool. What you are seeing here is the search tool that we have in the provider portal. You can search specifically the screenings that are still on the family side. So we highly recommend checking the queue maybe once a week so you can identify families who may benefit from a reminder before their 20 days are over. If you don't want to see those families in your provider portal account, so it's a great idea to use the search tool so that way you can identify those families. And here you can see the pathway to access the search tool from your provider portal. Next slide, please. All right. The important piece here is to select screener family on the search tool. Once you run the search, you will be able to see the children you will be able to see the children that are still in the family side. And this will give you an easy way to know exactly which families you may want to follow up with. Next slide, please. So when you click on the search after selecting the screening as family, this gives you a quick way to identify them directly in the system. So that way you know who are those families, who are those children, so you can help us on reminding them that they have a screening pending on the family account. Next slide, please. Perfect. And that's really what I wanted to share for everyone today. Families now have more time, but we also want to make sure we are using additional time as an opportunity to increase parent participation. Again, it can be something as simple as identify the families and giving them a friendly reminder and offering support when needed. And of course, if you have any questions or need assistance, please feel free to contact our warm line. We are always happy to help. And before I go, just want to mention two upcoming trainings. We have our in-person ASQ. I don't have it in a slide, but I will be sharing that in our chat here. But we have our in-person ASQ and ASQ SE2 training on September 30, and then a new training on October 21st called Inside the ESD Scorecard. And this one will give you like a behind-the-scene look at what DEL measures, why it matters, and how providers can and the coalition work together throughout the screening process. So it's more about the rule, it's more about the process that they conduct the audit, so you can understand better the behind of every processes and procedures that we have in place. The registration links for both training will be shared in the chat, so feel free to check them out and register. We hope to see you there. And if you have any questions, just feel free to contact us via the warm line. Thank you.
We did have a question, Brenda, before you
Yes.
go. So I think you sort of answered the first part, which is about staying organized. So you're able to use the search tool to change the type so that you can see which queue is the family queue and which queue would be on the provider side, correct? But she did ask, what if a provider completes the ASQ with the family as part of the enrollment? How does that work when it's still sitting on the parent side?
So during the enrollment process, if the parent complete the screening, you should not see the screening request in the provider queue. So if you see the screening there, then give us a call to the warm line, because once the parent complete the screening during the enrollment process, and that could happen because immediately the parent signed the certificate, the same system will be letting them know and giving them the option to complete the screening right away. But also there's another option to come back later, or maybe defer the screening to the provider. So that's what I mentioned. Some parents defer the screening to the provider. If they click on that option, that's when provider will see the screening request in their portal account, because it was a decision from the family during the enrollment process. I hope that clears.
No, actually, because what she's asking is if the provider is doing the ASQ with the parent, with the child there while they're enrolling at their site. So the provider has stepped into the process. It's not,
Okay,
it's still sitting on the parent side, but now the provider's involved because they're like, oh, you're a new enrollment. Let's take
I
care of your
see.
ASQ right now. Um, how would that work for getting that information into the system so that the
So,
provider doesn't have to do it again after the 20-day
sure.
window is over?
Okay, so I would say that these are particular situation. The best way would be to give us a call, because if that if that screening happened before the enrollment or during the enrollment. And so remember, since we have the ASQ through our system, the DEL system, so everything needs to be entered into the system. If you have the paper screening, it's just a matter of entering the same screening that you recently completed with the parent, and that's the screening that you can use to submit now. That's why I'm just mentioned to that it's important to give us a call, because it could happen that the screening request that showed up in your portal account is not the same ASQ form that you completed with the family. So there's many factors. If you as a provider are doing the screening in a certain way that is not necessarily attached and related to the enrollment process that the ELC have, then give us a call, because then we need to find maybe different ways to ensure that, of course, we are going to do our best for you, not doing double efforts, but at the same time, the same system is creating this screening request, and also we need to submit, and something needs to happen in the system in order to that child shows as a child that has a screening completed. But just give us a call in that situation.
Okay. And then she did ask about the frequency. Our recommendation from the attendance standpoint is always that people are going into the portal at least on a weekly basis. I don't know that you need to be in there. Oddly enough, if you have a large site, it's really a daily basis to sort of mark your children absent that are absent, so that you're not under the gun to get it done at the end of the month. And I would probably recommend that you make it a process to also check this queue at least on a weekly basis, so that you're up with changes and people moving between days and requirements. Okay. All right. Thank you, Brenda.
You're welcome.
And the best contact number for you or for your team, the 514-3300 number. There we go. Or the warm line.
Yeah, the warm line. They can contact, any provider can contact us through the warm line.
Okay.
Thank you.
Yes, thank you. All right, and we'll move on to Maria.
Hello, good morning, everybody. Thank
Ah,
you, Brenda. I can a little explanation, a little bit more. Also, Miss, the person is asking about that. If the parent completing paper with you and having their own portal, they can check in the portal and put to pass to I need help or something, because in that moment immediately pass automatic in the portal pass to the provider side, and you can complete the score too. You are doing with the parents in that moment, they can complete in paper, and the parent going to the portal and put to I need help or pass to the provider, and they can do in that. Thank you so much. I think so. We working together with Brenda. This is the Child Development Service. We have different service to the teacher and the children in your classroom. We're doing a consultation visit. We're doing a classroom support, environment support plans. You are now receiving after the children have concern, the specialist call to your center and create a little plan. This is no EIP, it's nothing. It's only suggestion or strategies that the teacher can working with the child. If do you want more support in that area with the environment support plan, you can call Child Development Service, and we support the teacher. We also working with the social and emotional development, challenger behavior strategies, and we working very close with the refers for children. Depend of the ASQ. We're working with the ASQ very, very close. Also, a special need rate. The special need rate is for you, and the parents need to complete a matrix with you. This is agreement between you and the parents, and this is help to the children have already any diagnostic, have to be a school readiness, and also 0 to 5. If you need more information, how apply, how doing the process, you can call the one line, and we're working with you guys. Next slide, please. Now, we want to offer a very good opportunity. Now, you supposed to have a professional development date for your staff, and we want to offer to you a packet. This is a training, include 2 hours the screening, 2 hours social emotional, and 1 hour for family engagement practice. The total is 5 hours complete in your center, and this is for your staff. Next slide. What is the benefit? You're going to, like I said, the training is delivered in person in your preschool sites. It's interactive activities and optional a follow-up consultation or technical assistance depending each area do you need. You're going to receive, the center going to receive incentives like the materials, support, implementation after the training. Next slide. You can call for requests in our word line, submit through our website page. Also, you can send me an email. We request at least 2 or 3 weeks in advance to organize the dates and the time for us. I know you select already your professional development date, but you can invite, and also we can discuss the topics in these areas, and we can make more individual or more for your staff. Thank you. Next. Again, this is our word line, and this is my email if you need any support in this different service. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Maria. That's all. So I'm going to talk a little bit about the staff development training also, but yes, Maria's offering training opportunities. If you had not already scheduled that and it's something that you would like to have as part of your school readiness contract, you can have a staff development training day and utilize our team to help you support that. So we'll move on to Sandra. I saw Sandra earlier. Sorry.
Good morning, everyone. Yes, my name is Sandra Schultz, and I am one of the technical assistant managers here at the Coalition, and I'm going to briefly talk with you about Smart Teach Goal, the child assessment tool, and also our child assessment implementation for school readiness program. It's like a mouthful. Next slide, please. So what is GOLD? GOLD is an observational assessment system that's going to help you, the educator, document and understand children's learning and their development. The educators use this tool to assess children's progress. The tool provides resources to support planning. The tool will include reports that will allow administrators to really monitor the outcomes and track progress over time. And then the data that's collected through GOLD can be used to identify trends, support program planning, and inform continuous improvement efforts. Next slide, please. As you can see, so let me say that teaching strategies, it's kind of gone through a transition of names, but It's currently now the tool is called Smart Teach, but we still do refer to it as Teaching Strategies Gold, just Gold. Some people still call it TSG, but it is research based. It is an online assessment. Those that have been with us for many, many, many moons you have to remember that it was on paper, but now it's an online assessment tool. There are multiple reports that you can use for planning. Gold actually has also a family engagement piece. Provider or educators can invite families to Gold, and that it's that home and school connection. Parents, educators can communicate with the families, and the families can communicate with the educators using Teaching Strategies Gold. There's a lot of online tech support, but however, those that are using Gold with me know that you could also reach out to me or your coach for support. Uh, it There is so much professional development now being offered through the tool. Please check it out for those that are using it with us. Uh, the courses are online, and they also do offer a lot of live courses. Their courses now, they are an IASET certified agency, so they are offering CEUs for a lot of the courses that they offer through the tool. Gold, our Smart Teacher Gold does have a mobile app. It is free to use. It really does facilitate the observations and the documentation for the educators. There is reliability testing, and that we'll talk a little bit about that in a couple of other slides, but teachers must be reliable in using the tool. They must pass what we call Inter-Rater Reliability Certification, or IRR for short, and it is a requirement. Then that lets us know that the teacher is a reliable user of the tool, and they're using the tool to fidelity. And of course, Gold is aligned to the standards, and it could be used with any curricula. It doesn't have to be teaching strategies or the creative curriculum. It could be used with multiple curriculum. Next slide, please. As you can see, there are many objectives and dimensions that the teachers are looking for. And this is really the heart of the tool. This is what everything that children can do. There are 4 developmental areas, which is social, emotional, physical, language, and cognitive. And then there are 2 content areas, which is literacy and math. So it is a rather, that there is a lot that the teachers are observing and documenting. And what I like to tell my educators when I train them is that, especially our infant toddler teachers, you are not babysitters. Their babysitters do not observe and document in all these objectives and dimensions. So, but it's a great tool for really helping you really learn about the children in your care. Next slide, please. So what are the benefits to using Gold? It really helps you, like we just said, it really helps you get to know your children well, their strengths, their needs, what their interests are. By really learning about your children, it really helps you individualize instruction, and then to really focus on what their unique learning needs are. It does help you measure children's progress, and it really helps you communicate meaningful information to parents by using this tool. You're gathering a lot of data to be able to communicate to either parents or stakeholders. And next slide, please. So to summarize, Teaching Strategies Gold, Smart Teach really helps the educator get to know their children well. It'll scaffold children's learning to offer engaging experiences. It makes learning and teaching more intentional, and it really helps communicate strengths, progress, and concerns with fidelity. Next slide, please. So now I want to talk to you a little bit about the child assessment implementation for school readiness programs. You can read more about it in more detail in DELV Rule 6M-4.500, Child Attendance and Provider Reimbursements. But basically, by participating in the program, a provider will receive a child assessment differential of 5% with the monthly reimbursement. There are requirements or expectations that we have for being in this program. 75%, at least 75% of your educators using the Teaching Strategies Gold must be IRR certified. They must have that reliability. It is a must. It is a requirement. We really can't stray from that. The educators must assess the children using the tool. That is also a must. The data must be in the system. They use the tool to assess and learn more about the children. There's no way around that either. There must be data in the system. Then if a provider does fall below the 75% reliability rate that we're looking for having their IRR, the provider must notify the coalition, but they do then have a 60-day period to get that percentage back up. Also, another requirement is that in the assessment period, the children that you have must be enrolled at least the minimum of 60 days in that assessment period to be eligible. Next slide, please. The other requirement is that the educators must, of course, observe, document, enter the data into the system, and they must submit completed completed assessments, 3 periods that are required. And they cannot be in any later than the last day of when the assessment is due. The first one is October 31st. That one's coming up real soon. January 31st and April 30th. Those are the required assessment periods. A parent does have the option to decline. It's for you to assess the child using gold. But what that would mean is that you wouldn't enter that child into the system and assess that child if the parent declines. I would have a conversation with the parent to let them know that this is not data that will follow the child outside of your center. It is information that only the teacher is using to really help their child. And if they have any questions about the safety, just let them know that you can have them reach out to me and we can talk a little bit more about it with the parent. But I think if you really let them know what the tool is for, I think they might be a little bit more, might agree to have you assess the children. And the providers are not eligible to be in this program if you are currently on a quality improvement plan, or if when you become a school readiness provider, if you don't have the ability to checkpoint for those three checkpoints that are required, or the 3 assessment periods that are required. And I think that's it for me. Next slide. But if you would like any more information about using Smart Teach or Gold at your site or the Child Assessment Program, please give me a call. My name, again, Sandra Schultz. There's my contact information, and I'll gladly talk more about this program.
Thank
Thank you,
Sandra.
everyone.
Thank you, Sandra. Is there any difference in how providers are paid the differential for child assessment? I don't think so. It does come out after the quarter, right?
Mhm. And from what I know, from what I read in the rule, it'll be in their reimbursement.
Mm-hmm. If you get a chance to check the chat, Sandra, if you could answer some of Lee's questions, we got to keep moving because we're running short on time. All right, so we'll move on to Lena and training.
Good morning, everyone. Yes, we are getting very close to the end of our meeting. So if you're still with us, I want to see those hearts coming in. Put it in the chat or send it our way. I'll love to see that you're still with us. Yay, there you go. Thank you. Love it. Okay, today we are going to cover a few important things. We're going to explore the TA coaching cycle and how it supports your program. You are going also to learn about how to connect with the coach and how to access to professional development resources. And I'm going to show you some excellent training opportunities for this month until October. And last but not least, we will talk about how to create a web author account so you can benefit taking professional development training. Next slide, please. All right. As we walk through the cycle together, I would like you to think about this question. And if Ariel can put it in the chat, it'll be great. So people can start thinking about it while I go over the cycle. Which area of the cycle could have the greatest impact on your program right now and why? I'm going to say it again. Which area of the cycle could have a greatest impact on your program right now and why? Let's keep in mind as we review each component, and at the end of the presentation, I would love for you to share your thoughts in the chat, and your responses will help us better understand how can we support you. Next, okay, so we're on the cycle. We are going to begin with technical and coaching, technical assistance and coaching support. So when I see this cycle, Gina, go back. When I see this cycle, I really see it as a system that supports everything that you do in your programs. Technical assistance support is an opportunity to collaborate with your educators. It is the coaches work very closely with the educator, creating a personalized action plan to work together and to support the educator. I think that when educators feel supported, they are more eager to learn. They are ready to practice everything they learn with their children, and that ultimately they help children develop and grow. The next item in our cycle is class. Class, I see class as a mirror. Class is an opportunity to see those teachers and child's interactions. Is a great way to see what do I need to grow on, what do I need to get support on as a teacher. So it's a mirror. It's not a test. So once we understand support and what we are observing, we can move to the magic of the cycle and its curriculum. I see this is where the magic happens. Remember that curriculum is a roadmap. It's an opportunity to see the teacher what the children need to learn, what activities she needs to plan in order for the children to grow and develop. Next in the cycle, we have professional development. And this is also key for the teacher's growth. It is not just taking a class and getting a certificate. It's about learning new skills. It's about practicing new strategies, things that can help run your class smoothly, and the children can have a better time, a fun time, and also learn at the same time. The next in the cycle is practice-based coaching. We call it PBC for short. And it's the partnership coaching approach designed to help educators strengthen their practices through reflection, goal setting, observation, and feedback. So this is where understanding turns into action. We identify the goals with the teacher, we reflect on what they are doing, and make intentional improvements that ultimately benefit our children in our care. So this is the cycle. So if you can add your thoughts in the chat. Again, the question is, which area of the cycle could have a greatest impact in your program right now and why? Next slide, Gina, please. All right, here we have some amazing training opportunities for you to request a coach. If you're not getting coaching support right now, please scan that barcode, that QR code, and you'll be directed to our website and complete just simple information, and I'll receive the request, and we'll get you in contact with one of our coaches. The code on the left is it's our web author account. If you don't have a web author account, create one so you can benefit getting registered for our trainings. And the one on the bottom right is our web author training information. This is where we have the calendar, we have all the training opportunities, and we have a variety of trainings for all areas. So please create your account first and then access our web author training information so you can see all the opportunities. Next slide, please. I wanted to highlight the CGC, which stands for Class Group Coaching Training. This is the QR code for the interest form. The way CGC registration works is a little bit different. It requires a more commitment, so we take this very seriously. So we ask the educators to complete the training interest form, and they are able to complete their information and select the class that they want to take. So we have classes starting this week. So if you're still interested, complete that interest form and someone will reach out to you to verify your participation. Next slide, please. This training unfortunately already passed, but I highly encourage everybody to take trainings with Sandra about Smart Teach/Gold because they are very useful and you learn a lot. We learn how important it is to observe our children and document their progress. Next. This is a new training. Strategy to support therapy integration model for preschool settings. This is a brand new training, newly developed for all of you. And we come out with this training because we ran a survey and we received a lot of great feedback. So this is a new training prepared especially for those people that on the survey suggested more trainings for in therapy integration. So please sign up. Just scan the code and you will be directed to register if you, of course, already have a web author account. Next slide. This is another new training, series training, Introducción de la Teoría a la Práctica en Persona. This is an in-person training. It's in Spanish. And if you, as a director, have brand new teachers that are just starting in the field, that it is their first year in the classroom, and they're still in that survival stage of teaching, this is the training for your teacher. Sign the teacher up, help her register, and they will be learning so many things. They will be in person, which is a lot of things. I think some trainings cannot be virtual, so this one will be in person. So I really hope that you benefit from this opportunity. Next. This is the QR code to get your web author account. So please create your web author account first in order for you to register for our trainings. And last but not least, check our ELC website. It's newly developed. I love the layout. If you haven't checked the website, this is an opportunity to go in it right now. Next. I have a Q code in here for you guys. Is the seeds we plant in the early years grow into the future of our communities. Every interaction matters. Every child matters, and every educator makes a difference. This was inspired by the mission of early childhood education. Next. Well, thank you. Thank you all so much. My name again is Lina Galliano. I am the Technical Assistance Manager here at the Coalition. And if you ever have any questions, feel free to reach out to me. I'll put my information in the chat. Thank you, Gina. Have a great rest of your day, everyone.
Thank you, Lena. Okay, thank you so much, you guys, for hanging in. We just have a couple more reminders coming up. I realize we're at the end, and I really appreciate you guys hanging out with us. So from the provider services angle, excuse me, oh my goodness. Could you go to the next slide, please? So we do have a financial literacy course interest form available. I don't know if anyone from communications wanted to talk about that, but if not, I can give you the basics. They are looking.
I'm
Yay,
here.
there's Erin. Hi.
Hi, everybody. So nice to see or talk to everybody. I can't see everybody, but it's nice to talk to you. And hi, Gina.
All right.
So it's Erin Gallagher from the Coalition. Just wanted to make sure I put this at the top of your radar, and we'll send this out later as well. But we have information we can share in some of our partnerships with businesses to offer some financial literacy training that would be helpful to your programs, helpful to your businesses. So this is a very short survey. We're not asking anything where you have to divulge any numbers or give us any information you may not want to. It's more just what topics would you be interested in? What would you like to know about? Survey is very short. I think tops it'll take you 2 to 3 minutes to complete, and will give us some information so we can work with our partners to create that training and create some materials, and also look at times that might be best for all of you to receive that information. So if you can click that QR code, it will take you right there. It's really fast. If you have any questions, I would give you my long email, but I'm just going to ask that you email communications@elcpalmbeach.org if you have questions. And the QR code is there. I'll just keep an eye. If you have any questions, you can type them in the chat. And thanks, everyone. Thanks, Gina.
Thank you, Erin. Okay. And then next, we had, is Olivia on?
I am. Can you hear me?
Yes, you sat through the whole thing. Hi, Olivia.
Good afternoon, everybody. I'm Olivia. I'm our Director of Grants and Contracts. And just wanted to give a reminder about our 25-26 mini grant reporting that's coming due at the end of September. We're going to let everybody know once the actual survey is ready for you all to enter in WebAuthor. But you can scan the QR code to get a refresher on the different allowable expense categories. And just a reminder, we're going to need to know, just similar through other mini grants and ARPA, what categories did you spend the money on? And what's going to be a little bit different this time is we're going to ask for you all to upload receipts or copies of the receipts or documentation along with that survey. And that will help us do a easier job of monitoring. We're going to be looking for allowable expenses within the correct time frame and the proper documentation. So expect to hear from me in the next couple of weeks. Once we launch that module, we'll be sure to get everybody instructions and guidance on what exactly you need to do, but it is coming.
Beautiful. Thank you. Thanks, Olivia. All right. Oh, Ariel, I didn't get to the updated slide. I am so sorry, but I made a mistake in my percentages, but I did want to let everyone know we'll be sending out reminders. The VPK performance metric and designation for last year is out already. And we did so well as a county. We had 359 childcare providers, and 94% of our childcare providers were above excellent or meeting expectations. So my other percentages should be 2, 0, basically, and 3%. So yes, some congratulations. If you go, we'll do that in a second. So anyone who did fall in the orange category below unsatisfactory or incomplete, I will be sending you an email a little bit later today, and we will have an information session about your next steps. That will be next week. But anybody in the other category, great job. I'll let you know exactly what your status is. If you're curious, you can always go to the DOE website under that link, and the report is there, but it is the entire state report. So you just got to find yourself on Palm Beach County, but I'll let you know exactly where you fell. So next slide. Click again, I think. Maybe one more click. I'm not so great with my things. Oh, no, it didn't do it. Anyway, congratulations. It was supposed to be a round of applause on that slide that didn't play. So anyway, congratulations to you all. Very, very happy for us. Great job. You guys are doing an amazing job with VPK. So congratulations. Just pat yourselves on the back, pat your staff on the back. And we can't say enough good things. So yay, I love to see all the claps. Wonderful. Last, just couple little things really quickly. Again, the staff training day for school readiness. I do try to send a reminder every month for that, sort of at the beginning of the month and then at the end of the month. You all can help me out because I am the only one really reviewing that documentation. That as you get to once you've had your staff training day, if you can upload that documentation before the end of the month so that I can do a review, so that I'm not under the gun to get a response back to the reimbursement team, I would appreciate it. You can put it into the staff training day documentation folder. It is really important that your staff training day meet the state's criteria, otherwise it is not payable. And if you are closed, that means you're not getting paid. The other piece of that is if you have a change, you really do need to make that in the system. So if you decide to be open on a day that you said was going to be a closure day, you need to change that in the portal before you do attendance. Otherwise, that day might not be paid either. So please keep that in mind. Provider services team is here to help you with whatever you may need as far as that goes. You can use our team, the TAs and coaches and training team for staff training if you'd like to set that up with them. Maria talked about that a little bit earlier. You can use DCF trainings. You can create your own trainings. It does have to be at least 50% of your day. So usually, excuse me, I am so sorry. I'm still so froggy. It does need to be 50% of your daily schedule. So if you're open more than 10 hours, that's at least a 5-hour training. If you're open that much more, it does still remain around the 5 hours. So a DCF training can work. And 75% of your staff, as listed in QPS, which is your school readiness staff, have to be in attendance. So on the next, I think I have it there. We need your training agenda, which has your timeframes and your topics, as well as a sign-in sheet to be able to approve that day for payment. And next. And just a final plug for our registry, the new PB registry and CSC Star Award. As an admin, if we've set you up as the organizational admin, we do ask that you verify your staff within the registry, and you can also send them an invite. So we'd love to have everybody signed up with a registry account. Zach was talking about Seek Scholarship. Trainings are in there from Palm Beach State College. Some other community organizations will have their trainings in there. Eventually, ELC will be looking to put our trainings in there. So everyone should have a registry account. And you can set up your early childhood journey in there with as much information as you'd like. If your staff are, if your site is a school readiness provider, Head Start, Early Head Start, or Title I, there also could be eligible for the CSC Star Award. So that's an added benefit to not only the micro-credentialing and the badging rewards that Zach was talking about through Palm Beach State, but also the CSC Star Award, which is payable every 6 months to your educators. So please encourage them if they haven't already to set up their registry account. And then please also verify your staff, and you can update that as frequently as you want, but at least as you have changes, please encourage new staff to apply and then deactivate anybody that's no longer with you. We do a monthly Q&A webinar. Our next one is next week on the 26th at 1 o'clock. So I will send out, I've sent out an email, I think, about it already, but I'll get out another one. It goes out to 4,000 people. So all of your staff are getting that email. If they are interested and have questions, please give them a little bit of time to come on and we can go over things with them. And there's a little bit of a new look. So I just wanted to share our new look on the registry site. If you haven't been there lately, please go in and check it out. And next. Any questions? I know it was a crazy. I thank you so much for staying over. I always want to be really cognizant of the time. So we did pack in a lot today. Please let us know if you have any questions. Like I said, we'll be getting out VPK information. And our next slide, if you have any community organizations or topics or vendors you would like to see present to benefit you or your co providers in our community, please contact Ashley. She does a wonderful job of getting everything put together. So she will be happy to speak to anyone and get them set up to be able to present at our next meeting, which will be in November, I believe. So very exciting. Thank you so much again. And our last slide, thank you so much for all the work that you do. Thank you to all of my presenters. Thank you for being here today, and please enjoy the rest of your week. Try and stay cool. It's very hot out there. It is August, so drink lots of water, stay hydrated, get in the shade. Thank you. Bye.
Thank you all. Thanks, Gina. I'll put this as well as the PowerPoint up on our YouTube channel later this afternoon. Have a great day,
Awesome.
everybody.
Thank you.